So you've seen a couple of jewelers online, on YouTube, popping bottles, flashing jewelry in the club, throwing money everywhere. Or you like to make things with your hands and you want to start your own jewelry business. But you're asking yourself the pivotal crossword question, how do I get started? Well, you're in luck. In this video, I'm going to give you the 5 steps to start your own jewelry business, to turn this thing from an idea to looking like the next Johnny Dang.
Jewelry.
Step 1, choose whether you like to make the actual jewelry or whether you want to just sell the jewelry. There is the occasional person that does both of them, but for all intents and purposes of this video, we're going to encompass the big 2, the ones who make it and the ones who sell it. Now, let me break this down. If you've ever gone to your jewelry store and gone and bought a piece of jewelry, whether it be a ring, a bangle, the person who's actually selling you this jewelry isn't the person who's actually manufacturing it. Now you're asking your question, why? Because for the most part, there's the actual jeweler who makes it and the jeweler who sells it. So the first decision you have to ask yourself is whether you want to make it or sell it. If you're a crafty person who loves to work with their hands, loves to build things, very, very hands-on, learn to make it. How? How do you do that? The obvious answer is going to be apprenticeship. It's the easiest and most effective way to get your foot in the jewelry industry. Most cities have a jewelry district, whether it's LA, New York, or Miami, or any city that you happen to be in, have a centrally located area where there's a lot of jewelry stores. It's as simple as just going down there, knocking on every single one of those doors and asking if they have an apprenticeship program already in place. If they do not, ask to work for free. Ultimately, what you're exchanging right now is time for your education. Introduce yourself to the jewelry store owner or to the manager on duty and ask to see if they need any help. I know a lot of people that got into this jewelry business by simply asking to sweep, mop, clean something, do anything to get their foot in the door so they can begin to see what the jewelry industry is all about. Most jewelers begin this exact same way. Now, for the most part, there are 4 industry trades: casting, diamond setting, design, and finishing. Get your foot in the door with any of these 4 trades. It doesn't matter which one you choose, whichever one they give you the opportunity to learn. As you gain experience, you can learn from these jewelers, plus meet other jewelers in other trades that you can eventually apprentice there with them as well. Don't get discouraged if you get turned away. Eventually, if you knock on enough doors, talk to enough people, or send enough DMs on Instagram, you're gonna get someone that's going to tell you yes. Someone somewhere is looking for someone who's willing to learn, who's willing to get groomed. You're going to take advantage of that opportunity. Keep calling, keep trying, be persistent until you get that yes. There's also going to school for it. Now, this does require some bit of money, an initial investment to pay for the school. There are things like student loans, but ultimately it gets your foot in the door. It also teaches you technical degrees like jewelry design. These skills typically are not taught in apprenticeships. You actually need to be in a classroom with a curriculum and a teacher showing you exactly how the programs work and how you can effectively use them within the jewelry industry. The pros are that once you graduate with a skill that isn't easily available. It's something that usually would require money for you to obtain, so you have something that someone can't just trade their time for. And therefore, you're very sought after by other jewelry stores that need this type of skill. The cons are, and what I don't personally like, is the fact that you don't really get hands-on experience. You're not easily consumed by the jewelry world. You're not in the pits, you're not in the actual shops creating jewelry, and therefore there's a bit of level of separation once you step out of that classroom and you go actually into a jewelry store. There's a lack of, how do I put it? There's a lack of experience that you can't possibly get while learning behind a textbook. Also, you can miss out on very, very important connections that you make when you're apprenticing with someone, sitting down next to them, their day-to-day life, learning a trade behind an actual bench. These are kind of connections that you can only get when you're sitting next to someone learning hands-on. Whichever route you take, whether it be apprenticeship or actually classroom learning, it doesn't matter. The point is you're getting into the industry. You're putting your foot in the door. You're saying, okay, here's the first step of how I want to start a jewelry brand. Now let's say you just want to become a jewelry salesperson. This one's actually probably the easiest. If you choose this route, you can apply to different jewelry stores. It's pretty simple. Jump on Indeed or monster.com. There's hundreds of different websites that are going to have job postings of jewelry stores needing sales people. If you really want to get after it, Google in your city the top 50 jewelry stores. Grab all their telephone numbers, put them on a list, and call each one of them one by one. Introduce yourself as someone who is relatively inexperienced in the field, but you want to get some on-hand experience by taking any sort of sales job, paying anything that you want as long as you're learning. What is a basic sales job going to get you? It's going to give you an education. You'll learn about the different types of jewelry. You'll learn about the different types of way of selling jewelry. And more importantly, it gets you talking the lingo of jewelry. The goal is to start learning. It's to start educating yourself. It's not to become a millionaire selling bangles and rings. It's to learn. It's to hone in on the craft that will eventually push you into becoming a jewelry brand owner. Number 2, and probably the most important tip I'm going to give you today, it's making the connections within the industry. I can't stress to you how important this is. Once you become an apprentice or you become a salesperson at a jewelry store, your success directly depends on how you can build these relationships with other people within the jewelry business that are going to help you build your brand in the future. Introduce yourself to everyone. Anyone that walks in who is in the jewelry industry, say hello to them. Don't be creepy about it, right? Don't be so weird and be like, hello, everyone. But give it an actual intention. Introduce yourself, give them your name, let them know that you are brand new in the jewelry industry and that you want to know a little bit about them. Remember their name, but more importantly, and this is very, very important, remember exactly what they do. Some guys are going to be casters. Some guys are going to be designers. Some guys are going to be in the diamond district. Some guys are going to be in the wholesaling business. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is you need to make that connection. In my experience, the most successful jewelers are those that can lean on those particular connections that they've made when they need to resolve an issue. You really never know what type of situation you're going to be in the future. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation where I needed a particular diamond with a particular cut, clarity, or color, and I had to call someone that I knew that was the only person that could get me that stone. It's going to be something that you use, and you need to be building these relationships from day one. Don't wait until you've been in the industry for 30 years to come crawling out of your hole and start shaking hands with the right people. You need to be doing this from the very beginning. Number 3, learn how to effectively both sell and market on social media. This is probably the one that's going to take the longest to learn, but ultimately is going to be the most important if you want to sell jewelry in today's market. Social media right now is the most effective way to both bring trust to your brand and reach potential new buyers. If you jump on YouTube right now, there are hundreds and hundreds of hours, millions of videos for you to scroll through that are gonna teach you exactly how to sell on social media. Grab a Red Bull, lock yourself in a room, and go down the selling on social media rabbit hole. Use all the platforms available: TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. Use all of them. Every single one of those brands are going to potentially get new eyeballs onto your page. Open up brand new accounts under your brand new business name and begin to record your learning process. This is very, very important. Don't wait till you become a master jeweler and become the best ring finisher in the industry to start learning how to sell your rings on Instagram. You need to start immediately. Gone are the days where you could just sit back in your store, wait on the foot traffic to come in for you to become a successful jewelry business. Those days are simply over. Unless you have an unlimited amount of money to put your store in the busiest street in your city, you're going to need to rely on different platforms that are free to bring both foot traffic and sales into your business. Social media is that answer. It's the one that you can use with relatively little or no financial responsibility and gives you the best return on investment. I can't tell you how many jewelers I know that have the most beautiful pieces, the best prices on watches, just sitting there rotting on their shelves because they have no other source of marketing other than foot traffic that comes in. Don't rely solely on that. You need to be able to expand the ways that you bring people into your actual business that convert them into sales. Learn the skill, learn how to sell, and you're gonna open up a brand new world and a brand new market that ultimately is gonna lead to the success of your jewelry business. Number 4, educate yourself on these 2 topics: gold and diamond. Now, of course, I know that people are gonna say, oh, Gus, there's one more things to learn about than gold and diamonds. Obviously, Oscar, but these are the 2 most important and most commonly used types of things in this jewelry business. Learn about gold, learn about gold purities. I'll give you the 3 most commonly gold percentages that we use on an everyday basis. Number 1, 10 karat, it's 41.7%. Number 2, 14 karat, it's 58.3%. And number 3, 18 karat, it's 75%. Learn these purities, memorize them, because it's something that you're gonna use every single day. Here's a pro tip. Download the app Kitco. It's going to tell you the live trading price of gold at the moment you take it out of your pocket. Check this app every single morning. Check to see if gold goes up or gold goes down. You need to be able to follow these trends because gold prices affect jewelry prices, which in turn affect profits. Now learn diamonds. Now this is a whole nother monster, but it's something that you must effectively know if you want to start a successful jewelry brand. YouTube and read literature about the most used stone in the industry. Learn about the 4 C's: color, carat, clarity, and cut. Learn on how they use these 4 C's to create diamond pricing. There's a book, it's an industry standard. It's kind of the Bible of diamond knowledge. It's called the Diamond Handbook. It's gonna tell you all about diamonds, how to grade them, and ultimately give you the knowledge that you're gonna need to be able to at least familiarize yourself when other people are talking diamonds. I'll leave the link in the description below. Number 5, and it's the obvious one, but the easiest to miss, and it's consistency in your effort. And I know it seems so cliche and so fluff, but it's truly one of the most important ones that people so often miss. I can't tell you how many times a day people will send me a DM on Instagram, give me a call and say, hey Gus, how do I get into this jewelry world? And of course, I go through the motions. I explain to them exactly what I'm telling you guys now, and everyone says that they're going to apply it. But when it comes down to the actual real world, only about 1% of them actually put it into place. This jewelry world is not all champagne bottles and blinging and iced out grills. It quite literally defines the saying, not everything that glitters is gold. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of it, not just one day, but a whole year of it. There's gonna be a house of failures ahead of you. Never mind a house of failures, a castle of failures. You're gonna suck at it. You're gonna suck at it a lot. But ultimately, it's the effort that's gonna separate you from those who are just trying and those that are actually doing it and becoming successful. I can't tell you how many times I talk to different types of jewelry businesses and they tell me the exact rinse and repeat story. I started off with little to no money. I worked my ass off and I failed a million times before I was finally able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's exactly how I went for me. I've started now 2 jewelry brands, failed at one, and only now am I seeing the fruits of my labor. It takes time, consistency, effort, and patience. Well, man, I hope this helps or at least gives you an idea on how to get your foot in the door in the jewelry business. If you found any of this information that I just said helpful or at the very least entertaining, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. We do weekly podcasts on jewelry. I also give a lot of jewelry tips. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with anyone that you would think would find this kind of content useful. Also, let me know in the comments if I missed something, if there's something particularly in the jewelry industry you've always been curious about and haven't found the video yet. Maybe next time you'll see it in the next video. Anyway, my name's Gus from Gus Villa Jewelry. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Holla at me.